Hello and welcome to ALL32. My name is Arabia and here we talk all things football. It's our Friday prediction show. So if you don't know how the Friday show works, it's really just me going down the NFL schedule, giving my predictions, a pretty quick in and out show. I might sprinkle some news here and there, but it's not like a full episode. So usually these episodes are much shorter. We kind of get in there, get out. I leave you guys to your weekend. I don't hold you guys for too long. So pretty much just a prediction show. Today, I have on the Lions, Detroit Lions. So shout out to the Lions, shout out to the NFC North. Got that Honolulu blue on, one of my favorite color schemes in the NFL. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite color schemes in the NFL. Right now, Fanatics has up to 60% off using code GIFT, G-I-F-T. Up to 60% off Fanatics using code GIFT. So use the ALL32 link in the description box below. Click on the link. Do your shopping up to 60% off using code GIFT. Definitely take advantage of that for sure. I got y'all with the deals. You know what I mean? They've been doing really good. Holiday season's coming up. That's a huge reason why code GIFT, because of Christmas gifts and all these like discounts and stuff. So definitely do some holiday shopping. Mind you, it doesn't have to be like jerseys and expensive things. You can get a nice little mug, you can get some slippers, you can get a scarf, you can get a hat, you can get a bottle opener. Like Fanatics has all kinds of like team accessories. So definitely check that out. Up to 60% off using code GIFT. All right, let's get into these NFL predictions. So last night, Thursday Night Football, Bills Texans. I never gave my prediction for that game, so I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you that I predicted that the Texans would win because I didn't do it on camera. So of course it's convenient after the fact for me to say that. So we won't count it. But the Texans won. Keon Coleman once again was, having to sit out that game because, again, he's like missing meetings or late to meetings. And I know for a fact that when you come into the NFL and you may be used to a certain level of professionalism or lack thereof wherever you came from, it could be a shock to some people to learn that the NFL is a job. Like, it's not just athletes running around, having fun, playing on the field. Like, there's so much that happens off the field that if you're not on top of that, yeah, you got to go have a seat. No one's bigger than the program, Keon Coleman. So I really just hope that he figures it out. I hope he works it out. I think the media and even his own teammates and probably his family and friends are really on him about it. So I'm not going to drag it out. I'm just going to say, I hope he gets it together for his sake and for the sake of the team and all that kind of stuff. Sidebar, similar, not the same, but similar situation with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, who reportedly missed curfew. So also in the NFL, let's say it's the day before a game. Teams stay in a hotel. Even if you're a home team, teams still stay at a hotel before the game, and you have curfew. You can't just be out whenever you want to. In my experience in the past, without giving away too much, in the hotel room, this is crazy, by the way. In the hotel room, first of all, you're not supposed to have anybody in your hotel room. Okay. All right. Okay. In the hotel room, they usually have, of course, like the whole floor is usually belonging to that team. And depending on what kind of hotel, depending on the size of the hotel and the layout, it could be different. But there's a lot of times security of some sort, either on like by the elevator or like there's some sort of like security measure to protect the floor. And there are ways around it. There are stairwells. There's usually not security posted on each end of the stairwell. And sometimes there's not even like legit security like at each elevator post at all times. But you do have curfew. You have to be in your room by a certain time, in there all night, and then wake up for meetings the next day before the game, blah, blah. So apparently they just kind of were out and about, whatever that means. And because of that, they had to miss the first series of the Cowboys Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. So, I don't encourage this behavior at all. I don't condone it, but these are human beings. These are young men in the NFL who are probably looking to have fun. And I love the fact that they're bonding. Because, of course, like George Pickens is known to be this rowdy person on the field, isn't afraid of conflict and confrontation. And CeeDee Lamb is kind of like your prima donna wide receiver, really, really good at what he does. Both really good at what they do. And I love to see that they're bonding off the field. So shout out to them kind of like getting in trouble together. Like, again, I don't condone it. But I think it's cool that they're hanging out like legitimately on their own time, deciding to like chill and go out and do stuff. So, good for them, but also don't do it again. So yeah, that happened. just an overarching theme of professionalism and like having to do what you got to do in this league. So back to the Bills-Texans game. Like I said, Texans won. That defense is really keeping the Texans in the hunt of the playoffs. The Texans has one of the league's best pass rushing duos in Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter. Josh Allen was sacked 8 times, a career high 8 times. Those 8 sacks also were tied for a Texans franchise record. Okay, Daniel Hunter had 2 of those sacks, and Will Anderson had 2.5 of those sacks. Will Anderson balled out. He had 3 quarterback hits, 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass breakup. That pass breakup was so crucial because it happened on that last drive. That last drive of the game was crazy. So it's 3rd and 1. Josh Allen is who he is. Will Anderson gets a pass breakup. So then, that whole drive was crazy, and that last drive in particular, between the Texans defense just balling out and doing what they had to do, but also the Bills offense made some mistakes. There was a false start on, I think it was Deion Dawkins, a false start which cost them 5 yards in a very crucial series, and just a couple mistakes that happened in that drive that really shot the Buffalo Bills in the foot. So shout out to the Texans defense. The Colts have the AFC South on lock right now. So the Texans are hoping that one of the 3 wildcard teams in the AFC, the Chargers, the Jaguars, and the Bills, hoping that they fall as the Texans stack wins so that they can make some room for the Texans. So we'll see. We're actually going to talk way more about this game moving forward because I just want to watch film. I usually like to look at the all 22 after the game. I didn't have time to do that. But I'm going to watch the all 22, especially just like looking at this Texans defense, kind of come back and talk more about this game. But let's get into these NFL predictions. So we have Colts, speaking of the Colts Chiefs, good game. I kind of gave the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt last game against the Broncos to be like, oh, this is a must win. They got to start really stacking wins, especially in their division, but this is not a division game. So I'm going to give it to the Colts. Like I said, gave Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. Not doing it this time. Colts, I think, are just a better team. I'm going to give it to the Colts. Seahawks, Titans, Seahawks. That's my kind of like don't overthink it pick. Like it really just, I don't see it being a surprise. I don't see this going either way. That belongs to the Seahawks. Vikings, Packers. Man, I don't believe in either one of these teams. I'll give it to the Packers though. Jets, Ravens, Ravens. Giants, Lions. Steelers, Bears. I'll give it to the Steelers. Patriots, Bengals. Patriots. Is Joe Burrow playing? Okay, I'm asking you. So Joe Burrow has been participating in practice this week for the first time. His 21-day window opened up recently, and so this is definitely a huge sign that he could potentially be coming back. Now, is he coming back against the Patriots? That's to be determined. That has not been ruled out, and it also has not been announced yet. My guess is that he won't. It just seems really, really soon. But don't be surprised if Joe Burrow is in for Joe Flacco. So we'll see. But I'm going to give this one to the Patriots. I don't believe in the Bengals defense. Browns, Raiders. Oh, my God. Shedeur Sanders is starting at QB1 this game because Dylan Gabriel is still in concussion protocol. Man, I don't believe in either one of these teams either. But I'm going to go Browns, mainly because I believe in the Browns defense enough to stop Geno Smith in the offense more than I do the other way around. Shout out to Max Crosby, though. Jaguars, Cardinals. I'll say maybe Cardinals. I'll say Cardinals. I like the way that this offense looks with Jacoby Brissett. Jaguars did have, a win against the Chargers last week, but the Chargers are up and down. So as impressive as I do think that it is, I don't think that it's necessarily indicative that the Jaguars are like this great team that they can't got. I'm going to go Cardinals. But this is a game that I think can go either way. Eagles, Cowboys. I'm going to give it to the Eagles. Division game, anything can happen, but really, I'm going to go Eagles. They find ways to win. All 3 phases, all the things that you've heard me say all season about the Eagles still applies. I'm going to give it to the Eagles. But I do think it's going to be a good game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys won. Great offense, defensively. That's where the division part comes in, where it's like a familiar opponent. You prepare for them twice a year, at least twice a year, every year. But I'm gonna give it to the Eagles. Falcons, Saints, nasty NFC South division game. That rookie Tyler Shugg is doing really well. Kirk Cousins is in for an injured Michael Penix. I'll give it to the Falcons. Bucks, Rams. Oh, man. That's a Sunday night football game. It's in LA. I'm going to give it to the Rams. And then Panthers, 49ers. The Panthers are performing a lot better than a lot of people thought they would. Right now, they're in contention for the playoffs. They're in contention of winning the NFC South. But I'm going to give it to the 49ers. I'm going to give it to the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan just finds a way to get it done. Injuries or not. Brock Purdy's back. So, yeah, I'm going to give that one to the 49ers. Those are my week 12 picks. They're locked in. No more going back and change my mind. Last week I went 10-4. Hopefully this week I find the same success, but we'll see. And we'll come back on Tuesday with Matthew Judon. Okay, so Matthew will be back Tuesday, and he will be here as we do Accountability Monday. And we're going to get into some stuff with Matthew. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dolphins. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about accountability and professionalism in the NFL, because a lot of my examples about professionalism in the NFL are because I get to see him behind the scenes in the day-to-day off the field. That's like really impressive. Like really, really impressive. If you've had a chance to really see how these athletes prepare day in and day out, it is a different level of respect that you have for them off the field. That like it just requires so much. And if you're a college athlete, I played sports in college. I've played sports since middle school, from 6th grade all the way up to college. And the schedule is different. It's not for the weak. A lot of people think that like, oh, dumb athletes, dumb jocks. But most people would not be able to handle a collegiate athlete's schedule, especially when you have temptation. You might be away from home for the first time. You have all this freedom. No one's necessarily hovering over you to tell you what to do. You have coaches and coordinators and advisors and all these things. But for the most part, you're left to your own devices for the first time, and you're just out of high school. So from workouts at 6 a.m. and then classes and then practice and then study hall and just this whole thing, you don't have the same freedom as like a normal student. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people in the workforce after college, they love hiring student athletes, because they have discipline and there's a schedule that they're accustomed to, and they know how to follow a schedule and instructions. And I found that to be true for myself and for other people who played in college. And it's just next level when you get to the NFL. So shout out to everybody playing at the top of their profession and the best in the world, and just the professionalism that comes with that. So we're going to talk about that on Tuesday with Matthew. Is that all that I have for you guys today? I think so. Enjoy your weekend. What y'all doing this weekend? Like I said, if you haven't been here before on a Friday, we chat and we kiki, okay? We get straight to business on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay? But today is a chill show. So if you want to talk about football, we're done now. You can click off the video. Now we're here for a laugh. Now we're here for a kiki. So a couple things. And I know this is probably, I shouldn't say this. Do you see this dot on my face? I have the worst, well, it's not a bump anymore, but I had a bump on my face, and now it left like a dark mark. And otherwise, like, I have nice skin. I don't get like bumps. But I have this one here. This one's really small. This one right here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I haven't had a bump like this. I can't even remember the last time I had a bump like this. So I'm dealing with this. I'm supposed to be going out tonight for my cousin's birthday party. We're going somewhere in Baltimore. It's called Garden Rooftop. We're going to Garden Rooftop tonight for her birthday party. And then my son, before that, my son has football practice. So exciting news about the Marlboro Mustangs. My son's team is ranked number 1 in the country. But before I even get to that, I don't take these rankings super seriously. Like, anybody can make a ranking. A ranking is like an asshole. Everybody has one. And it's really an opinion. Like, you look at teams, and a lot of these teams haven't even played each other. So, you're just looking at these teams and the strength of victory, and maybe how many teams outside of their area they've played, and their wins and their losses, whatever. And you rank them. But right now, my son's team is ranked number 1 in the country. And so that's the final ranking before all the teams go to Florida for nationals. So I'm excited for that. The boys definitely still do need help. I want to say thank you to everybody who has donated money to my son's team to get these boys to Florida. And when you see young men doing the right thing, they're participating in sports, they're doing really good in school, ranked #1 in the country, but having trouble maybe getting lodging and getting flights and figuring out food and all these things to try to get the boys there for this amazing opportunity. Like I said, probably, we'll see, best 6U team in the country. If not the best, then certainly one of the best at this point. So to everybody who even donated, I had people who donate $1. I don't take that dollar lightly. That was one of your hard-earned dollars that you decided to donate to these boys. So thank you so much. Of course, I've gotten more than that. So everybody who has donated, thank you so much. Still, there is room for donations. The boys leave December 6th. So definitely have a few weeks to go. But thank you so much to every single one of you who has donated. Seriously, I do not take it lightly. Thank you so much. If you would like to donate, I'll put the donation information in the description box below if you'd like to give something. What y'all got going on this weekend? I'm excited to be on It Is What It Is next week. It feels like it's been a long time. It hasn't been. I was just on there on Monday. But I'm excited for the show. I missed everybody. Miss Stat, Mace Cam, Isaiah, Nick. I haven't seen Larry in a while. I hope he's doing okay since his wife's passing. The thing about tragedy and like death is that for you, it's something that you carry with you. Even not even just death, like sickness. If you're dealing with anything, like even when I found out I got cancer, there's this initial shock, and everyone's there for you, and everyone is asking if you need anything, da da da. But over time, people go back to their lives. You know what I mean, and go back to their regularly scheduled program, and they kind of forget, and like the checkups kind of fall off, and so I just want to make sure that I'm intentional about like checking in on Larry, and I'm sure he's fine. But just wanted to make sure because he is actually who found me. He is how I got on It Is What It Is. Larry found my stuff on Instagram and, was checking me out, checking my content out for a while. And then he recommended me to Cam. Cam checked my stuff out and was like, oh, yeah. And then so if it wasn't for Larry, I would not be here today. So I'm immensely appreciative of Larry. He's always just been so helpful. He's gone out of his way to advise me and just been this like figure for me in this media industry. So shout out to Larry. I hope him and his family and his daughter, Taylor, are doing well. All right, guys, get out my face. I think that's all that I have. I'm just rambling now because I miss y'all. There was no show yesterday. I'm sorry. There was no show yesterday. So I just want to talk to you guys. I miss you. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the games. And we will see you on Tuesday with Matthew Judon.